So we'll give it some time here, see who joins us. I've got Clue with me. Open mic. Chinwag.
Welcome, gentlemen.
The-
Oh, it's an open mic? I'll send Robert the invitation.
oh, we got somebody in. Oh, Big Clue is the in. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, is it just
Oh, with more flying in. Big news, big news, big news.
if we don't hype it, nobody else will.
Yes. Oh boy, here comes Carlos. Slashed in here. What's been coming? It's a big crowd for a daytime broadcast.
Yeah, afternoon, a Thursday afternoon. Yeah.
Maybe strange timing here. Ooh, Mike Silva. What the heck are we looking at on screen? Yeah, just see who else shows up. But the reason for this is due to some recent owner uh, changes. What we have now is a 24 team league versus a 26. I know we had what used to be Sean's team on autopilot here to see what happened at the end of the year, and we were looking at, hey, can we get up to 30 to go to these 3 divisions per conference and add in a wild card, which also had I think the league was close to being split on that wild card in the old format, but in this format, it really makes sense to have a division winner, smaller divisions, and then the best at-large team from each get there, which means you'd have 8 postseason teams in this league structure where we only have 4 now. So it really doubles the amount of teams that get into the post league. It would mean we set up for 24 teams, but if we ever expand in the future, then we can just go and start adding a 5th team to divisions
Any given
as we go across to bring extra people in. So it's something Clue and I had been talking about if we could ever get to 30 and expand from the 25, 26 that we had now, or 26 up to 30 to do this. But since another owner has dropped and we don't have a replacement for, what was the name of the team anyway?
type
The
of
tinfoil hat team. That we
yeah.
thought, heck, well, then let's just prep for season 5 and we could go with 3 divisions in each with 4 teams. And then if people do start adding to that, then we can just make some of the divisions 5 as we go along, and it gives us that extra wild card spot. But in doing so, it, it's almost impossible to keep any division. There's no size that matches keeping any division name or anything intact. So we just thought of getting some names and getting new divisions and just doing a random draw of team order and just start filling them in across with brand new teams in brand new divisions. So I'll pause. I'll let Clue say anything he wants to say and maybe some of the
No,
people
this
in
is,
chat
I think that's about
have
it.
any
Yeah,
questions. But that was it. It was necessitated by a lot of, we were looking at hopefully expanding and doing 6 total divisions of 5. Um, but having another owner drop, it just made sense. Hey, maybe we get this structure set in place now.
change the foundation. Also, we won't need 4 expansion teams at one time to get to 30. Now we could do it 3 at a time, so it's a little more achievable in graded or smaller bites, I guess.
Yeah.
This will also create another layer of another round of playoff games, which will be, well, I think it speaks for itself, but it'll make for more broadcasts during the postseason. So, which will be fun.
Mike says, or just dispersing the teams within the two leagues in question form. You mean we could keep the ones that were in global and just shift them, and then keep the ones in universal and just shift them?
Except for that's not neither of those number of teams now is equally divisible by 3. So
Yes, I think that's the problem because the teams we lost. Well, wait a minute. I missed the first part. The first part about, oh, complete redraw. Or, yeah, we were looking at a complete redraw, Mike,
yeah,
just to say, hey, let's just complete redraw all across the board.
yep,
And he put it in, what we do here is he put it in alphabetical clue did, so each team name has a number associated with it. And I was just going to fire up a random generator here that will give us 24 numbers, and then it'll create a random order. And then the goal was to then just go, starting here with this one, this is where the first team selected would go, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and then come down here and do it right from left to right and fill in each division like a team at a time, going right across here until all 24 would be there. Oh, David Lando says it is just an honor to be here witnessing that. So, um,
he's right about that.
yeah,
Well, how many we have watching now? 3.
if
Let's see,
we
1,
should
2,
reconstruct each season,
3. What?
what does that mean? Like every
We're not
every season's a random draw?
doing this. We should reconstruct. But we're not going back and replaying older seasons. Is that what you're suggesting?
Or is it losing the interdivisional rivalry that some may like? I know some
He's
didn't like
suggesting,
it,
yeah,
some do like it.
suggesting replaying the. We're not starting the league from scratch. No, this is season 5. Your keeper lists
Oh
and
yeah.
your draft. Yeah, yeah.
More teams each season.
Move teams each season. Oh, that's what he's saying.
Each
I
subsequent season is just a random
don't
draw.
yeah. I don't understand why that's necessary. Don't we already have that, Mike? I mean, the only fair way to distribute teams is randomly.
Yeah, because this
We already
we
have
know
an.
who's good this year, but I guarantee you it would be hard to take this year. Like if we were trying to say, okay, we're going to take this year's like strength of teams and try to
Yeah,
balance it, it has absolutely no bearing on who will be strong next year,
yeah.
if that's what you're saying. Oh, we're going to have to catch MV up. Oh, we're always going to hear that one.
Yeah, we hear that
Flash.
all the time anyway.
You're never going to get rid of that. Nice try. I mean, we've thought about it, but
Yeah.
Hmm. Fair. That's an interesting word.
concept.
What
It's,
determines fair? Meaning
yeah,
each division is as balanced as the other? Hmm.
because that's never been the case in the league. There's no need to realign every year. That would be too disjointed. Yeah.
A
No
random, yeah,
envy the
hard to have a random
control
lottery
thing.
once everybody has keepers
Yeah, I
and a
don't see what
past
the heck.
season to try to balance those
Yeah,
that did well the season prior having less of an advantage than those that didn't. I'm not
yeah.
sure what we're
Envy.
doing now that's random.
Two owners. We've had two owners in the fire division drop out this year.
Are there two
That would
conversations going on here? Are we talking about league setup or the seasons that get randomly drawn that we draft from? I don't know if we've got two different concepts going on here.
no Slashed is advocating that we do what we're about to do, but do it for every season and realign every season random. So there'd be
Really?
no cohesion from one season to the next. This is a one-time thing to facilitate wild cards, and we're kind of our hand was forced because we now have one division with 14 or one
Yes,
league with 14 teams and one league with 10 teams.
correct. And to be able to be set up so that if we ever have future expansion, right, like growing it, that we won't have to do this at a subsequent point, meaning figure out how to break out from 4 to 6 overall.
Yeah.
It's a good number to do that now and already be ready to kind of be future proof to be able to add teams and keep that because it just doesn't make sense to have start adding our wild cards, which is a feature that people wanted and it got beat by like a vote. But even the people that voted to keep no wild cards all said, hey, if we ever had 3 divisions in each league, then they would go for a wild card. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the two teams that are gone, Tinfoil Hats will be gone, and Lancaster.
So will
That's what we
the
got news today is withdrawing. So that takes us down to 24 owners. So it necessitates us setting up, and then if we ever expand, we can start plugging in fifth teams in divisions, or we get 3, we can have these 3 divisions of 5, those of 4, and
yeah,
we don't have to worry about this down the road.
the Amish
Yes,
have
two
no more
teams.
fight in them. Yeah. The Amish of Lancaster have no more fight in them. So
Yeah, I don't.
David,
This
two
is kind of a
teams,
redo,
Lancaster
and I do
and
agree that
Tijuana.
there's some, even when baseball did it for real life, the Astros moved to the AL, the Brewers move over here. It upsets maybe some division rivalries, but at least this would be a good starting point for the future to, um,
Yeah.
where we could add teams and not have to do any division realignment, and it would give us the postseason that people wanted in the old format and were willing to do if we went to a format like this. The people that didn't want a wild card said, "Yo, yeah." In fact, there's probably about 5 of those said, "Yep, if we ever go to this many teams, then I do want a wild card." So I think it kind of helps address the wild card issue. So if you look at this setup, you got 6 division winners and one from each. So that out of 24 teams, if we kept that, 8 people would have 8 people in the playoffs instead of just 4. Yes, it would, Carlos, with the only thing being now that, like, let's say 3 people came into the league, we could just take right here and have the global league expand right here, right? We
Yep.
get 6 more, boom, we put them in here, and now we go from 24 to 30, which I think would be a really
Yep.
good top end thing, and then we're good.
We can
We got a
add
good
up
wild
to
card setup. You have a little bit smaller divisions, which allows um, 6 division winners instead of just 4, and then wild cards.
Yep.
Well, we could, but we never do. MV is the problem. We're planning for it. That ain't going to happen because it's that's a no, nothing in there. I shouldn't say zero confidence, a very small confidence that we could get to that would be committed to do it. And even if we did, what if we got 4 or 5 and wanted to expand and we're in the same boat if we don't change the structure and have 3 divisions in each? MV wants more keepers, but I don't necessarily if he wants more divisions. That's what I'm sensing.
Mm. Well, are we ready to draw?
I am. I'm just seeing if anybody has any more
Mm.
questions.
We have a situation. We're going into season 5. We have 14 teams in one league and 10 teams in the other. And this resolves that issue as well as sets a solid foundation for the future expansion, as well as facilitates more playoff teams, which people have been asking for. So,
No, David, that was me just screwing around. I
yeah.
said MV wants more keepers, but maybe not more divisions. Doesn't mean we're getting more keepers.
Yep. Let's do it. Oh, here we go. Look what he started.
What's refilling my water here? Let's see. What have I missed? Um, let's do it. Okay. Let me fire this thing up. Giga. What's the one I always like? Giga random generator. We need, okay, we're going to go 1 to 24, right? And we're going to do 24. No repeats. So when I hit this, it's going to spit out. I meant for football. This will spit out a random team number assignment left to right. And again, just to clarify for people, I'm going to fill them in this way. The very first team number that's up here, we'll go find out what it is and we'll put them here in the Sandlot division. Then we'll go left to right until each division has one of them filled out. Then we'll come down here and go across this way, so on, all the way across to fill in the number. So MV, the random draw is to figure out which teams go in which divisions, because there's no way to keep any of the division connective tissue together because as Clue said, we have 14 in one league, 10 in another, and all the divisions now have what, 6 or 7 teams in them. So there's no core anything. Yeah, we got rid of Earth. We went with some more baseball themed names, Earth and Fire and all that. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me, Smalls. All right, so let's see. Where's our random generator here? Let's get the numbers. Boom. And there we go. Let me get a snapshot of these, and I'll put them on here in order. Okay. Oh, let me copy it. And here's the result. So we're going across. So team 7 is DJs. 13, Liverpool. 11, we got 20, San Fran. 23 is Vegas. Amazing. Nice. Dallas. Chicago and Chicos. Oops.
I can't.
And we got 21 and 10. St. Pete and Hadley Lake. And 14, Long Island and Washington. Twelve is Lehigh. 22, T-ville. 15, Manchester and Maplewood. I'm always Brooklyn, followed by 18, Brooklyn and Mid-Michigan. We've got Florence and Marshfield. Oh, wait a minute. Mid-Michigan. I'm got to move back one. Florence, Marshfield, Edmonton, Philly, and Cleveland. Why do I keep doing that, Clue? There you go. Mike says he likes his division. MV. What do you mean the random number generation? There it is. Or the other random generator. MV, the one that always likes to plant conspiracy thoughts in everybody's head. I know what he likes to do. What do you mean, no more Dwayne? Clue? Oh, wow, but I suppose I understand. I'm gonna miss you competing. Oh yeah, what's I can see Clue and I are got in the same division with David. Where is Manchester even at? Oh, they're in with Joe Murdy, Nooch, and Jeff. So now it could be the Jeff and MV rivalry. Who knows? Long Island and
Steve,
Brooklyn got a New York connection.
your screen is very blurry on YouTube as far as I can see, so it's hard to make out
Oh,
what's
okay.
written. Can you copy me and I'll post it in the
Yes.
Discord for everybody? Okay.
I'll take a screenshot of this right here. Well, hold on a second.
Okay.
I'll take a screenshot of this and you can post it. Okay. I'll drop it in announcements and then feel free to post any clarifying stuff or whatever on that. But yeah, I mean, at least we're ahead of the game. Now, if people are out there recruiting and we get folks, then we can come and start bringing them in order from like left to right and just say, okay, great. If we can get three, we'll drop them in the global league, right? And just go to 5 teams in division. And, as we grow, it's going to be a lot easier to deal with it. And Hey, now it's interesting. We've expanded the postseason as well. I don't see anything impacting the draft at all, other than there'll be
No.
more teams in the postseason. So we'll have to wait for 8 teams to see how they fare in the postseason as to what their final order would be. Right,
Yeah.
Clue? That's
Correct. Yeah.
about it. Um, hmm. Will there be trade? Look at this. Look at
Oh, you
this.
know what? There will be because we will only the lottery will only be the last place teams going forward, and will only since there are now 6 divisions, it will be a 6 team lottery starting at the in the draft for year 6, if that makes sense. So only the last place teams will be in the lottery for the first pick of the draft, second pick of the draft.
Let me write. In fact, I could write that in here. All right. Yep. Playoffs. Playoffs are.
But that won't impact the upcoming draft. It'll be the year after that.
Yep. Playoff format. We have 6 division winners and then 2 wild cards. And
Mm. Mm-mm-mm.
there you go.
Thank you kindly.
Yeah. What else? Am I missing something or having to pick one winning team and losing team in the draft? Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yes. That's a good time for us to mention that. Yep.
We'll call this season draft, right?
Yes.
And 4 seasons available versus 3 that we've done in the past, because if the goal is to get to 30, which let's cross our fingers and hope we could get there, right? We would run into a dilemma with those expansion teams if we had the 2 of those original 16 seasons. You run into a situation where you'd need 60 teams, and we could run into a rough spot where we might only have 32. And then if we had another season that came from where there were below 30, we could almost be close to having either an equal amount of teams or one less. So we just decided to future proof this whole thing and say, okay, let's just say one winning, one 500 below, like we've been doing in football that people seem to enjoy. But we'll expand and add a 4th season option, which gives you 4 total seasons to choose a winning team and a losing team from. And that way we never run into the problem based on whatever years come up if we had a big expansion. I mean, for example, there could be, you know, let's say we go into expand and we have 6 teams we're expanding to, or 3 or whatever. We could run into not having enough available teams if there were certain years picked. So don't want to have to deal with that in the moment. And I would say to what Carlos said, yes, some do, but if you think about it, some do, but they don't get picked for the same reasons. What else you got, Clue? Any other?
I'm just double checking
Oh, he's
the
doing.
list here, and I'm about to post it. Mid Michigan. All right. Going to be interesting in season 6 here, or season 5, I guess. Yeah, the season 5 preseason draft will not be impacted by these changes. So this will be the last draft under the old format, other than the winning team, losing team formula.
Hmm.
All right. These are going to be some very interesting divisions, as it turns out. Okay. And
Hmm.
me post these, and we are good to go. All right. Posting the update. So where would this go here? General.
Envy's saying, curious, why the change?
So because we just like to confound
Well, here's
MV.
the change because if we're trying to spread out talent, if we had a fourth season like right now, everybody could, it's going to bring in some of those elite teams that have more talent on it. Mike says needlessly complex. Actually, it's not complex for us at all.
Nope.
What
There you go,
Slash
Jim.
said, what MV, look at what Slash said. That's a plus there, but and at the same time keeping people from just snagging two big winning teams because if there's 24 of us picking twice for 48 and we open up four seasons and a couple of those seasons are the 30 team ones, then you would have enough for everybody to load up on really good winning teams. So it's actually trying to balance that approach.
Yeah.
And what Slash said, I think there'll be better options for your below 500, and you'll have more options for your one above 500 than you did before.
There's always the possibility that the 1900 baseball season could be drafted. That is an 8-team National League only
Correct.
season. Could you imagine that?
And it would put
So,
us in a bind. The other thing I will say that what the football league has shown us is only being allowed to pick one winning and one not winning adds strategy to the baseball draft that we've seen play out in the football draft that we've yet to be able to experience. So there's that added thing of strategy. We've seen in both football drafts, David do it, and did Bernie do it too? You did it. I don't remember who did. Take their losing team first,
yep, I did
which
it.
so
You
it
did
adds
it.
a cool draft strategy wrinkle into that, knowing you can only have one of each.
Yep.
Midlife, hello, hello, hello. And those of you that are just hopping in, Dwayne, and midlife, what we've done is we're future proofing the league because we had an owner. We already had Sean that had pulled out. Night Raven is not coming back for the next season, so we're down to 24. So we decided to go ahead and then split it up into three divisions in each conference now, which will allow us to have an extra wild card, means 8 teams in the postseason, three division winners, one wild card from each league now. And then if we start growing back up towards 30, we can just start adding a fifth team into each of these divisions, which makes it more expandable in the future, and there was no connective tissue to keep any of the semblance of the league structure we had before, because we would be left with 14 in one league, 10 in the other, and all divisions too big to keep them intact, if that makes sense. So we thought we would get ahead of it for season 5 and at least have a format that we can just keep plugging along. And by adding a fourth team to the draft, or a fourth season to the draft, means that pool will never run out of teams when if we expand and have expansion. And then if having the same thing we're doing in football, where you can only get one winning and one not winning, adds a little bit of strategy and helps balance things out. So that in a nutshell is what we're trying to just get set up for season 5. None of this impacts anything going on this season, but it's just trying to really figure out how do we get structured in a way. I know everybody liked the idea of wild cards, either the way we had it, or if we went to the 3 divisions. Some people that voted against it said, hey man, if you ever go to 3 divisions in each, then I would be for it. This kind of helps now. Like with 24, we got 8 postseason teams, so you got more people to benefit from that.
Yeah.
And it's expandable in the future.
Lays a good foundation going forward.
Well, yeah, the 4 years was that, because in baseball, if we expand, we go and get some of those seasons. Or did I not read that and you've already addressed it, Clue? I think you already addressed it with that. We won't have enough teams if a couple of seasons, like if we got 1900, 1906, right? There's 24 teams, and then we get a more modern team with 25. We could end up with 3 seasons that we pulled that wouldn't allow for our league for each person to get 2 picks.
Yeah.
And we don't want to have to address that in the moment when these seasons are pulled. We'd just rather have to have a format that's always going to be able to allow for that.
Facilitate it. Yep. That way we don't have to make exceptions to their rule.
And I would say people will still have bad
Plenty
players.
to choose.
Well, they have plenty to choose from, and they're still going to have bad players.
Yeah.
Well, relative bad.
Yeah.
I think even right now, everybody's got a couple people in their lineup they wouldn't mind upgrading. Maybe more.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, just hanging out, shooting the shit. See if anybody's got any stuff. And I'd say we can shut the broadcast. So at least this is kind of a record if anybody wants to go back and watch or didn't catch the beginning when we drew the random order, which was right here. Look, Clue, look what MV posted.
Do I need to?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Well,
No.
hold on a second. Let me clear that up. It's not 4 teams to pick. Let me clear that up. You have 4 seasons to choose
in the draft
only 2 teams from. Right?
Yep. You're only drafting 2 teams as always, and it's just we're adding another season to the season pool in every draft. That's it.
I'll just add this on. Yeah, so we're still only going to draft 2 teams, but there'll be 4 seasons that you can go look for those teams from. And the new rule is only one of those teams you take can be a winning team above 500. The other one has to be 500 or below. So yeah, I want to clarify that. Well, we're not choosing 4 total teams to make a roster of 30 from, only 2. The pool just gets a little bit bigger for you and for any subsequent expansion. Hopefully that clarifies things. And to do this, look at David. And I think David had a good idea for our league name, Clue. He's firing the first barbs. You know what he called it?
No.
It would be, we could call our division Two Champs and Clue.
Oh, I don't think that's very inclusive, is it?
Damn, that was good. Yeah.
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 Yeah. What do you got against? Yeah, obviously you guys must be blind not to spot that Aaron is also in our division. So,
Yeah.
but don't count Aaron and I out just yet. So, of course, we'll have to see how everybody does in the draft, and it'll be an exciting season. A lot of new stuff to.
Look at Flashlight. Maybe this will prevent lots of trading. Has anybody noticed any trade? You know what's funny is like in the last day with the deadline looming, there were
Yeah,
fewer
not much.
trades in any 2 day period I think we've ever seen.
Slowest trade deadline in my memory. Yeah.
I asked Mike if he wanted, because Mike's, let me pull up the file here, by the way, while we're talking about it. Da, da, da. Well, we'll post this tomorrow here, but here's where we are in the league right now. Look at this. Hagerstown and Liverpool battling it out. Degens with a 4 game lead. Vegas has a 6.5 game lead. And look at how tight the water division is. 5 teams, only one of them at 500, but all within 4.5 games. That's a tight race.
Yep. Going to be a fun pennant
And
race this year.
Flash, that's what she said. So, yeah, I don't have anything else. Clue, you want to say anything else before I'll cut this
No, other
short
than
and
I've
I'll
already had
pop
a couple
over
of
in
people
the.
ask me. Yeah, a few people have already asked, so I'll just say this on the broadcast. No, Bernie did not write a check to Steve and I to get these divisions to play out this way. So
Oh, who's Bernie got?
in the Benchwarmers division, he's up
Oh,
against Hadley Lake, Maplewood, and Philadelphia.
well,
It's
his
funny how
favorite trade
uh,
partner is Will, I think, in many
yeah,
ways.
that won't
And they
happen as
often talk
often.
early in the morning, so there'll be a connection there. We got a New York connection here, Long Island and Brooklyn in the same.
Yeah,
And
that's nice.
amazing, Yoko lives in New York, so look at
Yeah.
that connection.
Dwayne and Buckshot
This is
and
going to be a
Carlos.
new. Manchester hasn't had to deal with Jeff directly, but this could
Yeah.
be a
I see a
fierce.
Mike and Jamie rivalry here in the future over
Mike
in the
and
Sandlot.
Jamie, we're at over here. Yep, John
Yeah,
DFW's there and
Flash. Yeah.
Slashed, the Sandlot. You're
Mm-hmm.
killing me, Smalls division. Um,
Gonna be fun.
you and David and I can get with Aaron, find out what he had for
MV's gonna
lunch.
have to MV's gonna have to make excuses for losing to Jeff and Nooch.
Dwayne, Buckshot, Carlos,
Yeah.
and Mark uh, in this one. Interesting.
Yeah. Gonna be fun.
Yeah, but again, I'd say recruit. Like if people know anybody interested, we can go right through here, left to right, and just start saying, okay, we got a couple teams, or we get 3, we can fill them in right here.
Yeah.
We can do what we need to, or go here, 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 whatever. But this gives us 6 slots to expand to in the future. We're going to have the draft covered. The other thing I wrote down here that's good is that now the draft lottery can consist of the 6 bottom teams, whoever they are, and we'll do a lottery with them, and away we go. This alignment is very unfair to the Red Bolts. Not sure
Yeah.
how anybody even interprets that perspective.
Yeah. Well, we couldn't put Manchester in a division of 1, so
Your protest has been officially logged. Have you logged that protest, Clue?
yeah, it's been sent to the appropriate suggestion box. Incoming.
But season 5, we're going to have freaking 8 teams in the postseason.
Yeah. How
So,
cool is that going to be?
yeah. Well, now you and Clue could technically, if you both win your leagues, meet up in the big game of the year, which in the old format could have never happened. So
Yeah.
you got to look at it that way.
Now MV, now I've lost Clue. Now MV and I can be trade partners from time to
MV,
time.
you will quickly replace your old competitors with new ones that drive you as mad. And I know you got to deal with Joe Murdy. Nooch will pop in now and then, but Joe Murdy will be paying attention to his team. His team's better.
Yeah.
Jeff's always paying attention to his team. Oh my gosh, this is like a bromance here.
Yeah. I want Clue back. Oh my God. Clue has needs too, MV. So
Yeah. Well, I'm going to sign off and I might hop over and chat and listen to everybody bitch and moan over
yeah.
there. And I may join you.
Good
And
luck, everyone.
like you expect, MV,